I can just hear the church clock of Tucson donging. It's 8:30. So here we go for our Thursday morning vineyard ramble. Unfortunately, the weather's not that great. I'm going to start just locating where we are here, looking towards the north. So this is normally the Tosh Mountain, if you've got your tea towels out. This is a Tosh Mountain. See, covered in cloud. Can't even see the top of it this morning. And I actually quite like it. There's a fine drizzle going on in my vineyards today, but it does remind me of our family holidays in Wales. I absolutely love it, and it just smells really fresh. So what's the weather like with you? Is it a bit like this? I think it's about 15 degrees, well no, perhaps 10 degrees here, so it's not cold, it's just very, very cloudy. Anyway, just panning around, behind there's some more clouds, and behind those clouds is the Canigou, or the beginning of the Pyrenees. Just caught some starlings just flying in the sky there. Turning around, the village of Tucson, and in the background, the village of Pazial, Grey in Sussex. Oh, Julie. Hi, Uncle David. Hope Mum and Dad are here. Overcast with Nikki and Teddington. So looking this way, trying to see a bit of sunshine, but it's still cloudy over here as well. So cloudy on the rocks of Van Gogh, cloudy over the rocks, and behind that, the Mediterranean. So we've got the beaches of Le Cat, Fitou, and the Languedoc. So this direction, Languedoc, we've got the Aguila Castle just behind the tree, just peeking out in the clouds. And then coming round here, this is the direction to Narbonne. So Narbonne, I imagine it's also raining in Narbonne, and cloudy. So panning round, and just a quick look up here, I can actually see the rock, our tasting rock, just up there. So let's have a look at the tea towel. Oh, and morning.
Oh.
Morning. Have you got the tea towels on, Mark?
Yes, I have.
So, and I know like later on this morning we have got a special guest. Very excited about that. Helen McGinn.
Nice quality.
Nice quality. Oh, the salesman Jean-Marc. Nice quality tea towel. Okay, and let's just have a look where we are. So you can see it's a southern breeze blowing. It's blowing off the sea today, so it's making holding the tea towel a bit difficult. But if I poke here, perhaps, we are actually... You can't see you. He's doing a little wiggle. Here. Ooh. Puy de la Gardie. So we're up here in Puy de la Gardie, just next to the Colombier, here just above the village of Tucson. So yeah, let's take a long shot. Thanks for holding the tea towel, Jean-Marc. That's great. And we hope you've all got your tea towels out, and you're ready also for our breakfast tasting a little bit later on. But before we do that, we're going to be looking at this. No, we haven't dug a grave. And Jean-Marc is going to be explaining exactly what we've been doing. So just before we do, he did point out earlier, we're in Jean-Marc's Carignan vineyard. So this is a Carignan vine. It's been machine harvested. Better over here. So machine harvested, you can tell here, because it's got the stalks still left on the rafle, or the stalks are still left on the branches. So a machine harvested Carignan, easy to tell because you've still got the stalks on there. That's not lots of greedy wild boar. Okay, morning Jean-Marc. Right, they're very excited about seeing Helen McGinn later, but I think they're even more excited yes, to hear about your soil structure. Perhaps you can just explain before you get into the hole what we did on Tuesday.
We decided to look for different vineyards. For know exactly comment fonctionne le...
So we looked at 4 different vineyards. So we dug holes in 4 different vineyards to look at exactly how the soil works in those vineyards.
Différents types de sol. Différents types de sol, et donc faire des analyses de sol, des fosses, des analyses de sarment pour mieux comprendre l'alimentation de la vigne.
So that we can better understand the vineyard. So we've done soil analysis of the topsoil. We're going to do analysis of the branches on the vines to see what the vines have been taking up as nutrients from the soil. And we've dug a big hole 1 meter deep in 4 vineyards so that we can really look at the structure. So you can tell I haven't got my microphone today, so oh, down it goes. So
l'objectif c'était d'essayer d'avoir une coupe du sol pour voir. Ici il y a un premier profil ici. Donc là, ce sont des terres.
Can you tu peux le faire en face comme ça? Okay. So here we dug down 1 meter deep, and you can see the profile of the soil. So at the top.
Là, on a à peu près 10 cm de terre qui est la terre la plus fertile.
So we've got about 10 centimeters on the top of the topsoil, which is the most fertile soil. There's then another layer.
Là, on a une autre bande de sol, on va dire qui est des sols où les racines se vont plus facilement. Et ensuite,
sorry. And then just for the ramblers, so we get it all in. And then there's a second layer of about 20 centimeters, which is still not too compact. The roots can still get through. I can see some roots there.
Et ensuite, donc, il y a une autre type de sol qui est beaucoup plus caillouteux. Donc
and then we've got the third level, which is a lot more stony, so much less soil in the third layer and a lot more stones.
On voit que les racines arrivent à descendre, mais on est sur des sols qui sont beaucoup plus, on va dire, calcaires.
So we can see that the roots have come down there. They've got through that rock because, and then at the bottom you can see c'est un grand caillou de calcaire en bas.
Après il y a beaucoup de cailloux, mais c'est difficile de creuser, c'est pour ça que je me suis arrêté.
It's quite difficult to go any deeper down, and Jean-Marc couldn't get deeper down with the digger because then there's a layer of limestone, just a heavy limestone. But here you can see as the soil gets deeper, so we've got more and more stones in the soil, but those roots do manage to get through that, and that means that the roots are getting down here about un mètre, ils descendent les racines à peu près.
Oui, là on voit qu'il y a des racines encore qui
descendent. So roots right down in the bottom, and some roots.
Il y en avoir en dessous, mais c'était très dur de creuser, la terre est très sèche.
Okay.
Donc là on voit qu'on est sur un sol.
And here you can actually see the soil, so quite.
En fait, c'est un sol argilo-calcaire. Où il y a beaucoup de gravier.
So it's a clay and limestone soil, but with lots of stone in it, lots of little stone, gravel.
Gravier,
and is that a good soil?
Disons que pour la vigne, oui. Disons que pour le carignan, c'est adapté, puisque le carignan, il ne faut pas que les sols soient trop fertiles pour faire de la qualité. Donc là, on n'est pas sur des sols qui sont très fertiles, parce qu'il y a beaucoup de cailloux.
So it's good for vines because for vines we don't want soils that are too fertile. We want soils where the vines really have to work to find the nutrients and to get the nutrients. So this is a good soil for carignan. And water is the other thing. The vine obviously needs water to survive, and this is good drainage because of all the stones in the clay and in the soil. It means that the water can drain away and doesn't stay in the vineyard. Is that good or bad though? S'il y a de l'eau qui s'en va, ou est-ce qu'il faut que ça reste un peu pour la vigne?
Donc il faut que l'argile garde une partie de l'eau, mais ensuite il ne faut pas que l'eau stagne pour que le sol devienne hydromorphe. Donc c'est bien qu'il y ait de l'eau qui descende et qui se cale sous les cailloux, parce que sous les cailloux, ça garde la fraîcheur.
Okay, so it's really good. It's perfect soils actually for the water because you don't want the clay, a block of clay, solid clay, because the water wouldn't drain in there at all. It would just stay on the surface and it would actually waterlog the roots. But here, because of the little stones, you've got good drainage, so the water will stay and it will actually collect under the big stones. And when I say big stones, je peux montrer là les... Here are some of the big stones that have come out of this little hole that Jean-Marc made. Okay, sorry, I just had I pressed the wrong button. Am I back now? Everybody's still here. Phew. Okay, sorry, Jean-Marc, just pressed the wrong button. So, yeah, I think we're still here. We are still here. So we're just showing you this pile of soil here. So the soil here is what's come out, very stony. So you can see big lumps of limestone which help with the drainage in the soil. And is it too early to know what we're going to do with the vineyard now, what the advice was? Still here, few, thanks Adam. Yeah, so we've got it's not like the roots can still get through the topsoil, but it's quite compact. So we're going to decompact that zone, but comment on fait ça? So how do we do that? Oh, okay, so we're going to come in and plough, but just with one tooth, et assez profond. So as deep as we can go, so we'll have a big tooth, just one tooth on the back of the tractor and we're going to plough just to break up that topsoil. Now we know that we've seen the cut and we can go down. And what about the big rocks when we hit a big rock?
On va voir.
We're going to see, okay.
Certaines fois ils vont monter, d'autres fois c'est le tracteur qui va s'arrêter.
Yeah, so sometimes the tooth will go over the big rocks and other times the tractor will probably stop and we'll have to lift up the tooth and go over it. Excellent. Thanks so much.
Et ensuite, ce sont les analyses de sol ou de sarment qui vont nous aider à voir les compléments qu'il faut faire au niveau fertilisation.
Okay, and then once we get the analysis back of the branches, so we know what the vine has been taking up as nutrients, and the soil analysis back, then we can really look at what compost we should be adding, either compost in the soil or nutrients on the leaves, spraying the leaves in the spring.
On fera des analyses juste avant la floraison.
Yeah.
Et à la véraison.
So analysis throughout the year, just before the grapes, just before budding and just before the grapes turn colour. So we get a really good, we really want to understand our vines here and their life cycle. So we're going to follow those 4 vines all year. So exciting stuff. It is actually very exciting.